Find something else. What can I get?
All right, everyone, we're going to get started. Today we have Mortgage MarketSmart with Megan Horn. So please give her a warm 1 minute welcome.
9 a.m. and we're going to talk about everybody wants to talk about at 9 a.m. mortgage banking. So what happens when you bring together a technology company and a provider of very complex forecast data for the mortgage industry? You get Mortgage MarketSmart. So FarReach and Emergent, which is based in Des Moines, partnered to build Mortgage MarketSmart. What is it? Well, Mortgage MarketSmart. Sorry. That was like a nice echo. It's all right, we'll roll with it. Improv. So Mortgage MarketSmart is a web-based forecasting tool that uses Emergent's proprietary forward-looking market intelligence. So forward-looking forecasts, looking at what's going to happen the next 5 years. And it's built in with interactive maps. It's all web-based, very interactive maps. So basically they can make this data tell them whatever they want. Not in that they can make the data say what they want, but they can get the type of information that they need. Very interactive. So here's just a quick screen grab, and of course, screenshots do not do the system justice. So this is obviously the United States. This is at the county level, and so what this shows is basically looking 2014 to 2019, the mortgage opportunity over those 5 years. So this map itself is not all that surprising. You see where the big areas are not that surprising. I mean, it looks impressive. But once you dig into the data, we can narrow down into Iowa and see which neighborhoods are going to be big in 2014, 2015, 2016. Well, 2014 we already know. But we can drill down that far. So this tool is really, when we say it's unlike anything in the industry, it really actually is, for two reasons. Two main reasons. The forecasts. So Emergence Forecast, they've been doing them for about 12 years. Like I said, they're proprietary. A lot of people in the industry ask, well, where do you get this information from? Well, it's them building it. So they start with historical data and build on top of it to come up with these surprisingly accurate forecasts. So other people forecast on a national level and tend to be around 70-75% accurate. Emergent forecasts at the census tract level, which is very micro, and built up, and they're in the 90 to 94% accuracy rate. And then the interactive maps. So people in the industry are using maps for historical data and whatnot, but based on everything we've seen, none of them look nearly as impressive and function as nearly as impressively as what these do. We've had people come up to us at trade shows and say, how did you build your maps? They're 20 times better than ours. Come look at ours. And they're using, Google Maps or something that doesn't function quite as well for the end user. So those are part of what makes this product really, really unique. As far as competition, like I said, as far as forecasts go, the competition is really only on a national level. Our biggest competition so far has been lack of awareness of need. So you'd think when you hear, hey, you can basically see into the future, people will be like, yes, I'll take it. They're not, surprisingly. So people don't understand. There's still that barrier of, I don't understand why I need it. There's a fear of, I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to apply it. Maybe it's too complex for me. So we're really working on that education. Big players in the industry are the ones who are providing those national forecasts. So people who have a lot of say, people who have a lot of power, people who have a lot of money are the ones providing those national level forecasts that people look at. And what we like to say is that, a national level forecast, the fact that the nation is trending upward next year, what does that mean for the Waterloo-Cedar Falls area? Doesn't mean anything. There are also historical data providers that really, really push on the need for what happened last year and the last 10 years. And so we can also provide this data very easily. It's what our forecasts are based on. And you can look at them on the map and everything the same way. But why would you look backward when you can look forward? But again, these historical data providers they have money, they have power, they've got big names behind them. And people are so used to this historical data that we've actually been sitting down with people and said, look, here are the forecasts, here's what you can use, here's what the next 5 years are going to look like. And people go, hey, can you pull up that historical data on this map? So those are the type of barriers that we're running into. And for the record, we launched last October, so October 2013. So we've been around for about 15 months. As far as revenue goes, there are kind of two ways. The raw forecast data, and that's more from the Emergence side. And then there's the actual data within the mapping platform that we sell based on a yearly license, yearly subscription. So we price that based on several factors. It's kind of an enterprise pricing where we'll put together custom packages for what they need, the number of states, the amount of data. So the number of states, let's say somebody wants to, they can buy one state if they want, if that's all they need. If their market, if they're like a Viridian and their market is just Iowa, they can just buy Iowa. Or if they're a Viridian who wants to expand possibly into one of the surrounding states, they can look at those states and see where the market opportunity is. The amount of data, so the amount of data that's available is very, very vast and very, very detailed. So with the basic lower level packages, they can see just all opportunity, which is all mortgage opportunity. And then in the more complex packages, people can see like VA loans specifically. They can see FHA loans specifically. They can see breakdowns of different types of products and different types of data that ends up being very helpful when people are planning their marketing strategies, their sales strategies, those sorts of things. And then the level of support. Do they have a big team of 50 people that they need to onboard this product with? Well, they're going to need a lot of support. Or is it going to be one person, that, you know, the person in charge of data and analytics at the bank? Is it just going to be them? And so it'll just be a little one-on-one back and forth. So that's what the pricing is. So really our audience with this pricing is, it can be any level in the mortgage banking industry. It can be somebody in the C-suite who is making strategic decisions. Where are we going to build our next branch? Where should we put our resources in 2015 through 2020? It can also be at all the way down to the actual lender. So if they've got a relatively big market area like Waterloo, Cedar Falls, big in geography, they can see which neighborhoods they should put their focus. They can lay over their actual loans and see where any holes are, where do they not have those realtor relations, where are they missing things. So far our audience is still very broad because we're working on that. Pretty much we're working from the top down at this point. We're working on those big national level, big banks to get capital and then to get that cash flow, and then working down to be able to help the day-to-day lender who's actually out there on the street. So again, Mortgage MarketSmart, nice long URL. We're on Twitter. What questions do you have? None. Great.
Is it mobile? Can I look at it on my phone?
Nope, it is not. It's we've talked about that, and tablet may make sense. You're not what people use this for is not on the go. It's strategic decisions, planning, big picture things. The system and the data are very complex.
So you're having problems connecting. So have you identified the main problem you're solving? Are you able to articulate from the customer perspective what their problem is and that this is a solution? Or
On a one-on-one basis,
yeah,
yes.
they
on a
do it that way?
on a mass basis, it's tough because you can do this. This. Our last so there's a huge conference in October every year for kind of the main industry conference, and we go to that. We've been to that the last 2 years, and this year we kind of focused on making better decisions. That ultimately that's something that's a statement that can apply to anyone who's using this data, is that they're making better decisions, whether that's how they send out their sales team, where they open a new branch, where they focus their marketing dollars. It's about making those decisions. So that was kind of what came to fruition and seemed to work for people. But as with most startup products, it's been a big learning curve, talking to customers, learning what they want, what questions they have. And everybody's a little bit different.
Right. Yeah, but it might be easy, instead of saying it does all of this, just really focus on that one thing.
Yeah, and that's kind of where we've moved,
Yeah.
so, good question.
Is there any way this could be used on the real estate end for like developers? Can they use that data and say, these are the areas that maybe I want to buy land in? You know, is there some way you can use that data that way?
Yeah, there are a lot of applications
Uh-huh.
for the data and for the tool, for the platform. So at this point, it is very mortgage focused because the data in there is about mortgage opportunity.
Okay.
So it's not about, as far as a real estate standpoint, it's not about where people are building new homes. It's not about new housing starts. It's not about where people are buying new homes if they're buying with cash. But those are the sort of things that we're kind of looking for, because the model can be applied
Right,
to that sort of
right,
as long as there's the historical data, it can be,
right.
our models can be applied. So we're kind of looking to see what customers want from that.
Mhm.
We've got a lot of questions about commercial, about like reverse mortgages is one product we don't have in there, those sort of questions. So kind of seeing what the base of customers that we get actually want. But yeah, there's been a lot of interest in that, in
Yeah.
those areas
Seems
as
like it
well.
would be-
Yeah. There are a lot of different verticals where it could
Right.
go. And the concept, the mapping concept with the forecast data could go a lot of different ways too. Focus.
Mhm. Mhm.
Anybody else besides Lori?
Does that mean I can't ask anyone?
No, you can.
Keep going, Lori.
No more questions
Rest of us
from
are just like,
you.
mortgages.
Well, I know, I'm sorry.
It's 9 a.m. Don't you want to talk about mortgage banking?
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing to talk
But
about.
see,
It is.
I mean, have you hit those really, really big mortgage banks, like the New York ones? And I mean, have you?
The sales process, and that is disgustingly long, the sales
Yeah.
cycle.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're actually, yeah.
Uh-huh. I mean, I
got-
would think they would find that really valuable.
Yes, I mean, because your bigger banks are the people who actually have somebody on staff who's called like director of analytics.
Right.
I met somebody in Vegas at the conference whose title was director of analytics for a really big bank. Yeah, those type of lenders, your lending trees who
Right.
are national but are taking kind of a different approach. Those sorts of things are definitely on
Mhm.
the radar as well. Those take more on the ground manpower, a lot of demos, got to reach a lot of people within that. Rollout is tough,
Mhm.
those sorts of things. So those take quite a while, but yeah, we're
Are you
working towards those.
selling that data? Is that data able to be sold to like research firms and that are doing forecasting and things at the national level?
Mhm.
So are you guys selling that right now, or?
It can be,
You can
yep.
be?
Yeah, we can sell the data without the tool to
Mhm.
people who want to,
Mhm.
because that's actually what Emergent did for, 11 years,
Okay.
is sold the data and then sold it in an Excel spreadsheet with some static maps.
Mhm.
The usability of that was a huge barrier to getting customers, which is where the
Oh,
interactivity
okay.
of the maps comes in and the easy access for the data. So, but there are so many other big data players in the mortgage industry that are providing other types of data that could potentially be interested in integrating this type of data
Right.
into either their product or a
Yeah.
partnership, those sort of things. So yeah,
Okay.
that's another route that
Right,
MarketSmart and Emergent could go.
right.
A lot of those are like in the air right now, those sorts of things.
I'm interested in how you broke the relationship between Emergent and Far Reach and you.
Sure. And I don't know if Kate wants to talk about that, but so Far Reach, we're the technology partner, but we're also a partner in the company. So Emergent and Far Reach formed a new company, MarketSmart. That's the gist of it. I don't
Really,
I
what
wanna
happened is
say
they
more.
started out as a client. They were referred to us by Mike Caldwell in Des Moines. And we started working with them, and probably for several months, maybe almost a year. And it was such a good relationship. We had such a great rapport, and we were all so excited about this product that they knew that, they needed a technology partner. I mean, a real partner who was invested and, really in it for the long run. And like I said, the relationship was so easy and so good that we decided that was it. And we were so excited about the product that we decided it was a worthwhile investment on our part to sort of join forces with them. And that's kind of how that came about.
And so I actually work at Far Reach, and I'm communications director for the MarketSmart product.
So how many people are on Mortgage MarketSmart team?
Depends on the day.
So, what type of customers do you have now in terms of like, do you have lots of big banks, small banks? Who are you kind of working with right now?
The bigger ones right now.
Okay.
Yeah, mid-size to large. Probably mid-size right now, working on a lot of the large ones. Some, half the country. Ones looking to grow are kind of where we're sitting right now, is where they're pretty big, but they're looking to grow, which is what the data can help them do. So that's where we're sitting right now.
I feel like internationally, is there data like this outside the US that you could go?
I don't think we have our, because our basis is of data of what our modeling is based on is HMDA, which is a United States data set that's available. So that's what we're limited to at this point. But slow down. Slow down.
Get it to go.
So,
Yeah, that's.
and a background on how this company started, and I tend not to tell this story because it's not as compelling as when they tell it. This is actually Emergent is actually a family business. So the founder worked in mortgage banking for years and years and years, and saw that people were not looking forward. So he built these algorithms, statistician by trade, built these algorithms, and now his daughters actually run kind of the day-to-day practice, or run the day-to-day activities, do sales, those sorts of things. So it's a really cool story that, again, is better told by the family rather than somebody else, but it is a really cool story.
Any other questions? All right, so the last question is always, what do you need from the community to take this to the next level?
I had to think about this one for a long time. It's really just, for us at this point, because it's so national, more of a cheerleader type approach. We've got both Des Moines and here, both communities working together for this. So really cheerleaders because this can be, hopefully you guys have seen the potential. Right now it's really early, but the potential of this, we think, is huge and massive. So really, I guess just being supportive along that route.
Unless you know any CEOs of mortgage.
Right, yeah.
We take those connections.
I do know a CEO of City State Bank.
I know some of that make.
Mike's
make
wife is
connections
the
in New
CFO
York
for
for
First
you.
National. I know, so.
Mike's, which,
Hi, Mike.
oh, okay.
And the president of the Iowa Bankers Association. So
See, these connections are fabulous.
and she's
So-
on the board for the National Bankers Association.
Oh, nice.
So maybe you and Sue should talk.
Yep, because we can get, once they see inside the tool, and I debated showing you guys inside the tool, but I knew the internet connection wasn't gonna let me. Darn, you and I Wi-Fi, what?
What are you trying to say?
The Wi-Fi here sucks. Especially when
Whoa.
especially when there are a lot of people on it. Yeah. That is the opinion of Megan Horn and not Far Reach. But getting them on the phone and on a screen share, showing them inside the system, because like Lori kind of pointed out at the beginning, is the problems that this can solve are based very individually on what problems they have. So if they point out what struggles they have, what they're trying to figure out, where they're trying to go, that's where we can come in and show them, okay, well, these are the 3 data sets that you need to look at in these regions to figure out where you need to go next.
All right, well, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Get some coffee.
I do have one more thing. If you know people who want to